In today's episode of ZOWIE Esports class, Play Like a Pro, it's my home turf. It's how to play the sniper rifle. I hope you guys are going to enjoy my tips and tricks.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how you can practice your AWP. I think that there's many different ways you can do so. One of them is obviously to use one of the practice maps that is in Workshop in Counter-Strike. You can use the one that you find the most valuable for you. Then you can play deathmatch. Situations where you get killed in your back and stuff, which is not super nice. Some people are calling you a AWP abuser in deathmatch as well. That's not super nice as well, but I still play with it in deathmatch because it is real maps. It's the maps that you play in competitive, and it still gives you a feeling of like the angles and some duels. So I think that's good. If you want to like be a little more time efficient, then I think that these kind of maps on the Workshop can be really good. But obviously also like bots standing still or moving, they don't have the same movement as a real player, so make sure to mix it up. For me though, I think the most important part when practicing the AWP is to watch demos, especially if you're not like a pro player. Watch demos of how the AWPs in a pro level is being used. You can also just like when the games are happening on Twitch and stuff like this or other platforms, you can watch them and take notes of what kind of angles the AWP players are using and how they try to get openings or play specific scenarios. Walking you through like me playing a map like this, what you can do is you can tell yourself I need to hit the next 10 shots in a row, and then you can like try and maybe be a bit more slow than what you like, but you need to make sure that you hit 10 in a row. If you don't, you start from scratch. I think this can be a pretty good philosophy to make sure that you hit like the easy ones. You can also do it without quick switching, just making sure that you can hit like 10 good shots in a row. And when you've done this, you can move on to your next task, which could be like flicking and stuff like this. But just making sure you hit 10 in a row. It might sound easy, but knowing from experience sometimes, because you want to click so fast, that it can actually be more difficult than you think. Maybe you can practice your flick shots. This can be like from left to right, for example. So let's say we have these two bots right here. I go from the left to the right and I just flick. For me, the part about flicking is also that it's if you end up in situations where you have to flick too much, for me it's also because you are putting yourself in positions that you maybe shouldn't. Because a flick basically is tracking out of where your crosshair is, which means your crosshair is not in the position where you meet opponents. So if you're more clever, you probably need to do less flicks because you're expecting the movement of your opponents coming around a corner and you're not like looking the wrong way. Yeah. So flicking is good, but it should more be like a tool to save you from crazy scenarios and stuff like this, more than it should be something you should do at every kill. But yeah, practicing it, and you can practice from right to left, from left to right as well. And again, it depends on how much you want to, like let's say like if I do like this, it's like out of my range, so it's pretty difficult to like predict the exact movement and stuff, but you can obviously do it. And sometimes it can also be good to do it like slowly. Try and train your muscle memory. Your muscle memory can be like, okay, just see, you don't have to shoot, you just have to try and move it and see, okay, can I hit this target? Like practice it from your head. Okay, when would I have to press? I'm sure you guys can do that with some practice. One of the other part is like quick scoping, right? Like shooting as soon as your scope comes up, and you can see here, there's not much more to it than practice it. There's always going to be an element of randomness in the quick scoping, but I think it's also still about like feeling comfortable, you know? And if you've done this like a lot in practice, then surely you can do it in more important manners as well. When you have to like kill multiple enemies in a game, especially in a professional game, what you need to do is you need to have something to like hide behind or peek behind, you know, a box or a pole or whatever it might be. So like let's say I was standing like this in the open and Simple, Electronic and Bit was looking at me. Okay, I killed Bit, but Simple and Electronic just have 2 seconds to kill me and I'm never gonna make it away. So sometimes you can also practice like either on a server or on different workshop maps that you have something to play behind, and you can like try and play it around like this, and like imagine you were like jiggle peeking both sides of this or being ready to peek out. You can also practice your crouch peeks, where you just like keep crouch maybe, or like you try and peek into them like this. To get a more like natural flow of the game. Because obviously just standing completely still is not happening that often in CS, especially not at the higher levels. So you can like try and practice like peeking into them as well. And I'm sure on a lot of the maps you can make them move as well if you want to have like extra. Hello guys, I'm gonna break down a round where I had some impact with the AWP. This is a game from the PGL Major versus Astralis, our Danish rivals, and we're leading 15-7. We just had a eco, and this means that if you look at the money, we are able to buy AKs fully and a lot of grenades, but I can't get AWP and Kevlar and grenades and stuff like this. And also I like to troll my Danish countrymen a little bit, so I'm calling for us to buy Tech-9s and rush B. Here I want to show you how you can use an AWP to your advantage, and it's even better when you steal it from the opponents. So yeah, we're deciding to rush B here. You can see that I'm the first guy in, and I'm running up banana. I'm ready here to throw the smoke. I'm doing that to block off vision for the opponent's AWP player. You can see he's standing there with the AWP, right? That is this guy right here, Lucky. So Lucky is standing here with AWP. He can't see anything because I smoked up banana. I'm just going into a full madman mode and jumping through the smoke, rushing the back lines, trying to create a lot of space for my teammates. So I'm running up through the smoke. I don't care about this position, running down here. And as you can see, I'm very close to killing this guy, but my boy Refresh, he steals the kill. I hate to spoil it to you guys, but that's him stealing my ace in this round. I pick up this AWP from Lucky. I'm trying to create some opportunities to get a kill. I see that there's a gap in this smoke. I can see that it's very much to the right. So I know that there's going to be a tiny gap between the boxes. I take this peek here. You see that's Magisk waiting for me with an AWP himself. But I'm faster than him. I get this kill. I'm now in a pretty awkward position and I can see that they're just pushing me. They're coming forward. I get completely blind. I try to get into this copy for some safety. And then I peek out, kill Glaive. Waiting for the next one. No, he's under time pressure, pushes through, that's the pre. I could go for the combat op, guys, but I'm gonna go to what kind of enabled us in this round, which was the Tech-9s. I'm thinking that I'm going for the ace here, right? Because I didn't know that Refresh stole my first kill, so I'm saying, boys, let me get the ace, let me finish this game with an ace. I pull out the Tech-9, I catch Zipex, who's alone against 4 players and has no chance, and that's how to win a game at the Major. This was a run through of how to play the AWP, the way that I like it. Make sure to, as an AWP player, you always need to stay dynamic and unpredictable. So this means that you can't just be very aggressive every round or very passive every round. You need to find the balance, go for the low risk, high reward kind of openings. And if this is not getting you any kills, you can try and search a little more and go out of your comfort zone and be a little more risky. But also remember that it is the most powerful weapon of the game, and it can be very important to have in late rounds as well as creating openings. Hope you enjoyed it, guys, and hope that you will keep supporting me using this AWP for the rest of my career.
Hope you guys enjoyed this ZOWIE Esports class, Play Like a Pro, how to use a sniper rifle. I'm expecting you guys to go in that server and get some extra practice with your AWP.